All right, we're over here at Wrestling Reunion 5 with Bill Anderson. Chaos over here. How's it going?
Doing good, brothers.
Yeah, definitely. Mr. Anderson, we run a wrestling school, Santino Brothers Wrestling Academy. What would be your advice for any aspiring wrestler, any young guy coming up in the business? What's some advice that you would give them?
I think some of the things they need to learn is respect, and I think when you have good teachers, first thing they teach you besides learning how to fall and protect yourself is learning how to respect other wrestlers and the guys that came before you. And that's why I really recommend the Santino Brothers Wrestling School, because these guys, you're old school, you've been around, you've wrestled all over the place, so you know how to teach respect to your students so they respect the guys that came before them. I think that's a big part of getting further along in the business, because sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know, and who you know is a lot of times earned by how you treated people along the way. It's like the old saying goes, the people you meet on the way up are the same people you meet on the way down. So, learn respect all the students, respect your teachers, respect the fans. They're the ones paying your salary. And those are a couple things, the words of wisdom off the top of my head. But it's not always just the holds you learn. It's who teaches you, why they're teaching it to you, and the long-term effect of what you remember from what they teach you. And it's respect, respect, respect.
Awesome, Mr. Anderson. What got you into the wrestling business? What actually was the twinkle in your eye that just made you decide this is something I want to do?
Tell you real fast, John Tolis, 1971, watching, I think it was Channel 5 or Channel 13. Freddie Blassie was getting presented an award in 71. John Tolis throws the Monsel's powder in Freddie Blassie's eyes. I was a 15-year-old kid. That filled my dream right there. My eyes were filled with wrestling after that, and I wanted to be a pro wrestler. And I was very proud in 1987 to have John Tolis, that same man that was my inspiration to be a wrestler, referee a match at the Olympic Auditorium, the home and mecca of pro wrestling on the West Coast. He refereed my match against Tinieblas from Mexico, and I got to win the WWA World title with John Tolis as my referee. And for him to raise my hand was the proudest accomplishment in my career that I could have ever asked for, because I started out dreaming about John Tolis, being a friend or learning anything about wrestling, and there's John Tolis raising my hand. That was like a lifelong dream completed.
Awesome. Mr. Anderson, Mongol Santino here was trained by Vern Langon, and as you know, earlier this year, Vern passed away. Are there any stories or anything that you can tell us about Vern?
I think Vern Langdon was one of the most underestimated trainers in wrestling. I really got to know him right before he passed away, in particular the last year and a half of his life out in Phoenix where he was living, and I was real proud to call him my friend. We'd go out to have dinner and just enjoy and reflect about Hollywood, old style movies, and we talked very little wrestling so much. He was just real reflective of his music career, which he was very proud of, and his makeup career, doing all the Planet of the Apes movies, and so much he ever did. He was involved in hundreds of movies, and he was a great and brilliant man, and I shed many a tear after he died. And I don't want to talk too much about it because I'll start crying right now. He was a good man and a good friend, and I was honored, absolutely honored, to call him my friend.
That's one thing Vern taught me, like I said in one of our videos, was not only did he teach me about professional wrestling, he taught me about brand awareness. And as you can see, me and Chaos, we try to put our eyes on everything, like Slammers did a couple years ago. If you went into Slammers, everything was marked with the Slammers logo at one point in time, and that's what he taught me. And I know you notice you have a lot of pictures of Slammers in your book. Talk a little about your book a little bit.
Oh, thank you. I was very fortunate from 1984 to 2001. I had a hand in training a lot of guys that broke into the business. Just a few names off the top would be Sting, the Ultimate Warrior, Angel of Death, Frankie Kazarian, Louis Spicoli, Melissa Anderson, or cheerleader Melissa, Ricky Ataki. There's a whole slew of guys, absolutely hundreds of guys. My book has about 400 pictures of the different wrestlers that came through my school, through different versions of my school. And I did train at Slammers. I had a school running out of Slammers for about a year and a half. and I was real proud of Vern allowing me to go into his beautiful, immaculately clean gym. I could never even keep my own gym as clean as Vern did, and I was real proud of all the boys that came through my school. And I got a pretty decent book, and it's called Big Bill Anderson Remembers the School of Wrestling. And I have a few book projects that I want to work on, but the first book I wanted to complete, I needed to pay homage to my students that I made friends with, and I was their mentor and trainer, but they were my friends along the way, and I wanted to make sure that everyone knew that my books aren't just about Bill Anderson, they're about my students first. And any good teacher, you know, there's other schools out there, and I've told people when they've come to me and says, well, I got a great teacher, and it's like, what has your teacher done for you? Has he put you in a book? Has he done anything for you? Has he tried to publicize you? Has he tried to push you? Has he allowed you to wrestle and branch off and do things? You need to have flexibility to learn, no different than you're a father or of a child. You let them grow and sometimes make mistakes on their own, and you give them words of wisdom, but you let them grow. That's what I did with a lot of my students. But it's all in the school you go to, and I think I got a little off track here, but go ahead and ask me something else, brother.
No. Where can we find your book at? You know, where can we get your book at?
My book is available at www.bigbillanderson.com, and there's you can order it off there. Just take a check, cash, or money order, and anybody that wants to order my book is more than welcome to go. On my front page of my website has a picture of my book, and there's a ton of pictures, and I think everybody will enjoy it. They're rare pictures right from my photo albums that I collected, behind the scenes pictures of my students in dressing rooms, traveling on the road, in Japan, to Mexico, to Canada. There's a lot of stuff in there, and I think it's a real fascinating book, and I've been real proud of the success it's had thus far.
All right. My last question. We have this pro wrestling school. Is there anything that you could just enlighten us on? Something that, you know, anything out there?
I think the main thing, as long as you guys, Santino brothers, if they teach ethics, have ethics and do things correctly, the right way, and honestly, you guys will have the success that you guys deserve. And forget all the other schools out there, because there's a lot of guys that are taking people for money and they're robbing them and not teaching them moral ethics involved in their wrestling ability. A guy can be a gifted athlete, but if you teach him not how to have respect, things like that, it means nothing. And I know that firsthand, and I tell you that. Just keep moral values and keep the guys doing good. What I used to teach too in my school is a guy used to come to me and say, hey, Bill, I'm going to have to take a little sabbatical from my training because I'm going to go back to school. I said, brother, you can quit me as far as I'm concerned and go back to school. Get your education. Education is number one in our country. We need to have education. You need to have something to fall back on in the wrestling business. I never wanted to put money ever ahead of somebody's personal education or their family. Somebody said, I have a family reunion I need to go to. I got to go back to school. I got to go do this. Brother, you come see me when you have time. You know my schedule. You see me when you have time. As long as you guys teach ethics and have good high morals, you guys will have the support of everybody around you.
Well, there you have it. With go to BigBillAnderson.com. Check it out. It's a pleasure to have you here at the Santino Brothers booth. An endorsement from Big Bill Anderson. Definitely check it out. Check him out at BigBillAnderson.com. Go ahead and buy his book. And man, I just want to say thank you for having a guy like you to endorse us. A guy that has paved the way for us, for Mongol and I to be professional wrestlers. It just means a lot for you to actually put your name behind us. And I just really want to thank you, Mr. Anderson.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you, guys. Thank you.